But who better than me?
Welcome back to the channel, or welcome back to another Base Talks. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It is appreciated. Now, I had the pleasure of being joined once again by CONOR WALLACE, based in Australia. 13-1 now, I believe, is the record. And yeah, he's got a fight coming up on St. Patrick's Day over there, Brisbane, Australia. And I think him headlining on St. Patrick's Day, obviously being from Northern Ireland, is a very big deal for both him and everyone sort of over within the region. So yeah, look, we spoke about a few bits and pieces, including maybe who he's got his eye on in the future. So I'm not going to really say too much, but have a look and I'll catch you on the flip side. This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual, and I'm delighted to be joined once again by light heavyweight contender, Mr. CONOR WALLACE. CONOR, how are you doing, man? It's been a little while since we spoke, but how's things been over Christmas, New Year's? How is everything?
Yeah, good. First of all, thanks for having me on. It's been good. Obviously, I had the fight lit last year on the 21st of December, so it's a good way to finish the year, right close to Christmas, and a good win. Set me up for a big year this year. So, out again, and just 2 weeks today. This day, 2 weeks. I'm fighting again, so camp's going well, and I'm ready to go.
So if we go back to the last fight, how did you feel in there when you was sort of under the spotlight, being so close to Christmas? Was there anything maybe that was taking your focus off of that fight, or was you fully dialed in, locked in, and just how did that overall experience feel for you?
Yeah, well, suppose obviously, like a lot of people have clocked off and stuff, and I was still in the gym, but it is what it is. The fight was supposed to actually be in November, so it was a long sort of camp. It was pushed back and pushed back, but the main thing for me was to get another fight in before the end of the year. So I didn't care if it had been on Christmas Day. I just wanted to get that fight in before the end of the year, which was good. And obviously, he was a tough guy as well. I learned a lot from the fight. Obviously, he's dropping him early, and then him getting back up and hanging in there. So I had to change it up a little bit and listen to my corners, the coach's commands and stuff in the corner. So, and got the job done. Eventually broke him down and stopped him in the sixth end. So it was good to get a few rounds underneath my belt as well after coming off the first round stoppage win before that.
Okay. So how does it feel? Obviously you've usually had sort of 2 fights a year, sometimes 3, but this is from what I can see of the most recent part of your career. This is actually going to be the quickest turnaround that you've had in a little while, like 3 months. Is that a benefit for you? Do you enjoy sort of being more active like that? And can we expect more of that moving forward?
Yes, definitely. Because there was a few things, obviously. So I'd had 7 fights in my first year as a pro, and then COVID came along and I think held up everyone. And I broke my hand during COVID as well, broke my left hand, had major hand surgery. And then my first fight back was after the hand surgery was my first loss. So I learned a good bit from it. And then I had 2 fights after that, then 2 good wins. And then a rematch the guy that I had the loss to. I knocked him out, but in the process broke my other hand in that fight. So that's the reason, that's the sort of reasons why I had the little bit of a layoff. I normally do like to keep really busy and active, and I feel like I perform better like that because that's what I've done my whole career. Be fighting maybe 3 times in the one weekend as an amateur, so I was always used to that. So it is what it is, and I'm delighted that I have 2 healthy hands now, and I look to push on forward and keep getting stronger and better with every fight.
Good. So you're fighting Jack Gipp in your next fight. 7-0, 3 KOs. From what I've seen though, he hasn't been active also since I think 2022. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he was campaigning at super middle. What's the thought process there? Is he moving up? Is this like his step up to the light heavyweight division, or is this more of just a marking time? It was a quick turnaround opponent. How did that kind of come about?
Yeah, well, I think Jack had a big amateur career himself, and he was just coming off. He had, I think, shoulder surgery or some sort of surgery, which caused him the inactivity. His last fight was against one of my old opponents, Mitchell Whitelaw, that I fought twice. Um, they actually had that fight at 78 kilos. So it was a catch weight. So, but he has originally campaigned a super middle, but obviously he must have outgrew it and got was too big for that then. So he put his hand up, and I think his amateur pedigree sort of speaks for itself. And although he only has 7 pro fights, it's going to be a tough task, and it's a great fight for me, I believe. So he's put his hand up for a juice to him. He's stepping up to the plate, so he's next in line for me, and he'll be getting it next.
Okay, well, look, so considering he's had such a amateur career, such a vast one, just like yourself, do you expect this fight to be a lot more of a technical affair, or do you feel like the two of you are literally going to get in there and like, slug it out and see who's the toughest?
Yeah, I think it will be a bit of a chess match, because he is sort of a slick boxer. He's fast and stuff, moves well. No, I reckon it's going to be a great fight, and be good for both of us to show our skills. But and unlike the last couple of fights I've had, fought guys who are come forward fighters, brawlers, sort of in there trying to knock you out. So it will be interesting to see, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to showcase my skills against a high level boxer as well.
Okay, okay. So with this fight, I mean, is there any significance to, I guess, the time frame? Is this a sort of a fight, maybe like a prelude to another big event that maybe you've got on the horizon or that you're aiming for, or is this sort of this was just the first available date that you had to get out and you just wanted it for the activity?
Well, I think like last year was. I think it's because it's St. Patrick's Day as well. I was supposed to do it last year, but obviously breaking my hand, the fight was pushed back. With Matt Sheehan was pushed back to July. So they've always wanted me to headline on St. Patrick's Day here in Brisbane, and it's a massive opportunity. It's a big day for the Irish as well. So no, it's good. I believe Jack is a suitable opponent for it too. And as I say, he's stepping up to the task, and I'm really looking forward to headlining on the zone on St. Patrick's Day here in Brisbane. It's going to be a massive event, and but that's the promoter's job. They're looking at the bigger picture for me too. It's their job to get me the fights, and with Tasman Fighters and Mick Francis, I'm delighted that he's working hard and giving me these opportunities to headline on the zone, and also what's in the pipeline moving towards that fighting for the world title, and that's what it's all about.
And for you personally, obviously, like you said, the promoters, they've got their idea and their sort of their vision for you, your career, and obviously getting you most exposure. But for you personally, St. Patrick's Day, how does it feel for you to be representing on that particular fight date? And yeah, just for you as a Northern Islander, how does it feel for you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, it's unbelievable. I think like the support I've had at the last couple of fights has been massive, but I think this is just going to blow them all out of the water, to be honest, especially with it being on St. Patrick's Day and seeing everyone wearing the CONOR Wallace t-shirts, the green Team Wallace shirts. And we were going to flood the place with them this time and hopefully lift the roof off the Fortitude Music Hall. So, nah, it's exciting, and I'm definitely really looking forward to being a part of it.
Great stuff. Well, look, I never like to overlook opponents, but for the purpose of this, just because I speak to you sort of every few months at this point, um, have you got your eye on anyone? Maybe provided you get through this one, win this one well, like live on the zone. Is there anyone that you want to sort of target? You want to call out? Have maybe look to face as a future opponent this year, or are you purely just locked into this fight?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm fully locked into this fight. I'm not overlooking Jack at all. I know it's going to be a tough fight, but you're always looking to better yourself, and in the high up in the world rankings as well. There's another guy from the UK called Willie Hutchison. He's um, he's young, hungry as well, and trying to make it the same as myself. So maybe a potential fight with him down the line is something that the promoters and stuff talked about. So. Um, they're the sort of guys you want to be fighting, and that I think with them fights, the big risk, you get the big reward, and you want to be seen on the big stage and that's a perfect opportunity, to fight on some of the maybe the big undercards and put myself on the map, in terms of on that world level, as such. And I think the winner of that fight wouldn't be too far off um, a world title fight,
Okay, I mean, look, yeah, Willie Hutchinson, promoted by Queensbury. He's on a trajectory up the ranking, same as yourself. So, with regards to that fight, um, would the team look to make him an offer to travel to Australia, or would you be prepared to come to the UK to fight on the undercard for that fight?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'd prefer to come to the UK, or even if we can get it in one of the Saudi shows, even better, So, if it makes sense for everyone, it'll be good, and that's what we want. As I say, they're the big fights. They're the fights that get you up out of bed in the morning, and that's why you're in boxing. If you're not, you shouldn't be in boxing if you don't want the big fights. So
Fair
that's
enough.
how I look at it.
Actually, speaking of obviously the light heavyweights over here, so um, as you know, there's a very big booming scene. You've got light heavyweights such as Ezra Taylor. You've got Ben Whitaker, who recently went viral over social media for his last performance. Joshua Buatsi. You've got Dan Aziz, Anthony Yard. Recently, on the same day that Anthony Yard fought, Craig Richards returned from injury and a long layoff against uh I've forgotten the guy's name. It's gone out the top of my head. Oh, Boris Crichton. That's it. Um,
Yeah.
did you by any chance see that fight as it was also on the zone? And what was your thoughts? And is that a potential opponent you might look at in the future?
Yeah, I didn't see that fight, to be honest with you. Obviously, with the time change and stuff over here, it is quite hard to catch all the fights. Sometimes to be right in the middle of the night, So, um, I'd be telling you lies if I said I seen the fight. I actually didn't see it, but I know Craig Richards. I know 100%. As I say, whatever fight makes sense for us to move up them rankings or whatever, that's the ones we want, and to get me in the best possible position I can for a world title fight is what I want, and that's what I'm in the sport for.
Oh, well, actually, the last time we did speak, we did talk briefly about the Joshua Buatsi and Dan Aziz fight and how we kind of saw it going. Your prediction was correct. You did think that
Yeah.
Buatsi would win. Um, are either of those two also potential on your radar, just down the line, not right now, but maybe two fights away or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like as I said, and anyone that knows me knows, like I don't talk a lot of shit or whatever, and I've never ever shied away from a fight. So as I say, I'm with a great team of Tasman fighters and my manager Steve Deller. So whatever fight they believe makes sense for me and moving me in the right direction, that they're the fights that I will take. Obviously I'll I think the boxer will never ever step away from the fight. It's obviously it's up to the management, whatever, to sort it out and stuff. So definitely, I'm keen. Like whatever fight I can get to get me in that best possible position to fight for a world title, I'll do whatever it takes.
Okay. And last one from me. I do appreciate your time. So this, I believe, is your third time headlining a DAZN event over there in sort of Brisbane, Australia. How does it feel for you to like be ultimately like the headliner, like almost the next up, the next guy that is, being promoted by the sort of by the promotional company, being showcased as, the number one, especially within light heavyweight, and being with such good rankings in all of the governing bodies. Does this just feel like, yeah, this is the very start of the Conor Wallace story, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is why I'm in the sport. It's something I dreamt about since I was a young boy. Being a world champion, and I think I'm not a million miles away from fighting for a world title or whatever. So every fight from here on in for me virtually is a world title fight, because if you lose, you slip down the rankings, and I'm privileged to be given the chance by Tasman fighters to be headlining live in the zone. And I think it's a testament to the hard work and sacrifice. I've give my whole life to boxing, and here I am today, headlining again for the third time, as you say. So um, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Again, if I sound like I'm repeating myself, but I will. I'm telling you, I've dreamt about it since I've been a young boy, and I'm willing to take whatever fights I can to get me in that position. So here we
Actually,
are.
you know what? One last question before I go, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Bivol Beterbiev taking place on the 1st of June. Obviously, they have all the belts at 175. That's who obviously you have to go through at this point in time to to get your chance at world titles. Who's your pick? Who do you think's gonna take that one? Or maybe who do you want to win?
Yeah, well, I think after watching before I seen Bitterbeev against Smith, I would have said Bivol like pretty convincingly. But after seeing the job that Bitterbeev did on Callum Smith, I was like, geez, he's a bit of a force to be reckoned with. You know, I didn't think he was going to beat Smith that easy. Obviously, with him being older as such, he's 38, I think. So, I still believe Bivol would beat him, but it'll be interesting to see can Bivol keep him off for the 12 rounds. You know, it's going to be a very interesting fight and one that I'm really looking forward to watching. So. I wouldn't really care who wins as long as like, just to wish them all the best and the better man wins on the night, you know?
Fair enough. Okay, well, look, Connor, thank you very much for your time. I hope training camp is going well. Glad that there's no injuries. I'm looking forward to the fight on the 17th of March. And yeah, we'll be tuning in, and I will definitely be checking back in with you after then. But all the best, and we'll speak soon, okay?
Cheers. Thank you very much.
So yeah, look, it was good to catch up with Connor, see what he's been up to. His future plans, obviously the tough task he's got in front of him on the 17th of March. Again, two very extensive amateur careers there, so it will be interesting to see how that fight plays out. I'll definitely be tuning in. I hope you guys will as well. Like, subscribe, and yeah, as you can see, also he's got his eyes on Willie Hutchinson. So Frank, Dev, George, Francis, maybe you might want to get that one prepared for towards the end of the year. But look, let's see where we go. Interested in the fight on the 17th first of all, and yeah, hopefully come through that one unscathed, and then yeah, we can look at future plans moving forward. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching. It's another Base Talks done. It's another sequel. Let's see if we can get the trilogy. But until then, catch you on the next one. Peace.